Of Avila Beach right there. And then right up to this canyon to the right is Davil Canyon, the nuclear power plant. The only working nuclear power plant in California right now.
I think you gotta report the situation back here for the same time.
People aren't allowed on here. We're kind of weird that we're allowed on here.
Likely for two to go.
Diving safety officer and boating safety officer here for CalPoly's. So I'll let him take over. But just a reminder, this is a CSU facility. This is part of your facility. So if you guys had your capstone project, you needed to do stuff as we're walking around today, you can come out. I mean, I know it's a bit far, but this is a sister institution, right? So you can come up here and use this facility. And Jason's going to tell us about this, a little bit of the history here and how things work, and give us a little tour.
That's awesome. Thank you for the introduction. All I have to do is fill in the blanks now. Welcome to the CalPoly Pier. This is kind of our access point for getting to the marine environment, and that's really the role of myself and the marine operations manager, Tom Moylan, is helping you all access the marine environment. And we're right now a kilometer out to sea. We're standing over 40 feet of water, and I want to ask you all, how many of you feel like you might be getting seasick? Nobody.
It's so solid. It's so solid.
That's the beauty of coming out here, right? You can drive your car, you can walk out here, but you don't have to get to a dock and onto a boat and deal with all the costs and extra logistics that go into that. So that's our role, and we have a number of ways to do that, and the first one obviously is this pier, right? And just to give you a little background on the pier, CalPoly did not build this pier. You probably noticed all the pipes running up and down the pier. Unical built this pier, and it is connected back to the shoreline and the hillside to the east via these pipes. And in fact, these pipes run all the way to San Luis Obispo too, where there used to be a whole bunch of oil tanks lining a road called Tank Farm Road. Those have all been removed along with the oil tanks up on the hillside, and ground remediated and probably close to selling off to the highest developer. This pier is not the first pier in this location that Unical built. There's been a pier here since the early 1900s, and the first pier was wood, like your Hartford Pier over there, and the Avila Beach Pier to the east. And it was taken out in a big El Nino storm in the early 80s. Your wooden piers, the pilings are driven into the sand to the top of the bedrock, and then there's the driving planks, that you walk out on that kind of hold those together. Well, when a big swell event comes through, the buoyant force of water pushes up on those planks on the top, and then the sand acts a little bit more like a liquid than it does a solid when a big swell event comes through. So those pilings just sort of fall over like dominoes. Unical did not want to have that same problem with this pier, and so there's a couple major things about the construction that help us supposedly withstand overtopping waves. The first part is our pilings are actually, Unical drilled into the bedrock and pounded in these steel sleeves, pounded in the pilings within those sleeves, and grouted it all with cement. That, in addition to the grading we're walking on, which allows that wave energy to pass through, in addition to eating up my car keys, work keys, cell phones, tools, hardware, all those sunglasses, pens, pencils, all the small things that we keep dear, like I said, allows that wave energy to just pass right through. So, like I said, we're supposed to be able to withstand overtopping waves, and we're about 25 feet above the water line, depending on the tide. So that is a big wave. And we have actually measured 19-foot waves coming through here in a storm in like winter of 2010. Oh, I started in 2008, and those are the biggest waves I've seen come through here. There were 7 boats from the mooring field to the west of us here that ended up on the beach at the end of the day. We watched actually several break free, kind of bang along the pier, and get broken up on the rocks at the base of the pier. But we did not feel the motion of the ocean, even on a 19-foot
Marine Lab, the Coast Commission was like, yeah, the public should be able to walk out here all the time, and you need ADA ramps, and you need and go. And so you want to talk about that aspect of stuff?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, that was pre my time, so I can only talk about what I've heard. But yeah, that was a big fight. Obviously, those are huge expenses that we couldn't afford to install, we couldn't afford to maintain. And then I'll tell you, just from experience, you and I may be clean and respectful of the environment, but the public in general is not. And so I'm not super welcoming of the public to our facility in that regard, because they leave trash, cigarette butts, dirty diapers, all of those things. And we have to clean that from the base of the pier. We have 2 full-time employees. And we've only talked about so far, about 1/4 of our responsibilities down here. So we just don't have the bandwidth to that, to accommodate that. There is that public section, that's the part you drive through, and in all likelihood, we will have to add more public access to the east side, the west side of the property, to satisfy Coastal Commission demands in order to get that seawall built. Anytime you have to go back to the Coastal Commission for permitting, it is likely that you will have to give them something as well.
They have a public day. It's 1 day or 2 days a year?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. 1 day a year, we have an open house here at the CalPoly's Pier. Yeah, and it's coming up November 15th. So if you're back in the area, it's a great time to come out here. There's a lot more on display, kind of concerning what we do in the Marine Science Department here at CalPoly and what we do out here.
And that's a one good, but it also meets the requirement of the Coast Commission. You have to have X number of visitors using your facility a year.